Screen Reader Overview. Rather than talking about accessibility in really broad terms, we want to show you how screen readers work. This content has been co-designed by people with disabilities, specifically for those who don't. We're not accessibility experts, but we do rely on assistive technologies. If we get something wrong, let us know.
So, why do screen readers exist? Screen readers are an absolute game changer, particularly for individuals who are blind or have low vision. They provide empowerment, independence, and privacy. But, sadly, many web pages just won't work with screen readers. We've mocked up some web pages to show you.
Meet Jamal, our tech trailblazer. Jamal is without sight, but he's going to provide you with oodles of insight.
Now I want to do a demonstration of a web page that has not been optimized for screen reader users. And I'll go through the page and sort of explain what I'm experiencing as I go through, and then I'll give examples as to why not optimizing the web page makes for a significantly lesser experience for me as an editor.
So, this is an example of a company recruiting. Importantly, it advises candidates that there's a minimum pay rate of $55 an hour. But, unfortunately, Jamal just gets this.
A good thing.
Blank. List with 4 items graphic untitled design left parent, 5 right parent, .png.
Okay, again, so now we've just got an unlabeled graphic. I don't really know what that means.
Is what we pay per hour.
Okay, so it's telling me that this randomly labeled graphic is what it pays per hour. So I got no idea what it pays per hour.
It advises candidates that they can work from home. But Jamal can't perceive this information with his screen reader.
Graphic your paragraph text.png. Available.
Again, got no idea what's going on.
This is because images have been used to share content. But the images haven't been released with an alt text description, so the screen reader can't provide the information in an audio format to Jamal. Screen readers can also benefit people with cognitive and learning disabilities, and anyone who just prefers audio over text.
Okay, so let us explain what screen readers are and how they work.
Screen readers transform digital text into spoken words, allowing users to listen to content and navigate using their keyboard. When you rely on your vision, you can glance at a whole screen to perceive information. You also perceive information through illustrations such as graphs and artistic design. However, audio interfaces such as screen readers sequentially display information, presenting one item at a time. Screen readers can't read the entire screen at once. They read step by step, moving through the content. It is so important that digital designers and developers understand the linear nature of screen readers, as well as the mechanisms these technologies employ to efficiently decipher and navigate content. Jamal will show you why the construct of your web page matters.
So, what about headings?
Now let's say I wanted to go up to the top of the page again, right, to that, to apply, right, to apply for this position. What I would do is I would tell the screen reader, okay, go backwards to the next heading. So I would press Shift H and I would expect it to jump back to the previous heading. Now I'll do that now.
No previous heading.
And you'll hear that it said no previous heading. So for me to get to that part of the screen, I have to sort of go around the world a little bit. I've got to tell the screen reader, okay, I want you to go to home, which is all the way to the top of the website. So I'm going to press Control Home.
Out of frame button, skip to main content.
Now for me to get to that heading, I have to skip through every single element, one element at a time, just to get to the main part of the website again. So
Banner graphic, this graphic company, graphic header, language selector dash blank. Main landmark clickable, work with us.
So again, that's like, what is that, like 5 or 6 keystrokes when it's typically just one. So it's a bit of an inconvenience there.
What about links and buttons?
One of the major downsides to having a link that just says click here is this. This is a common function used by screen reader users. I'm going to demonstrate it now. So I'm going to press the NVDA key and F7.
Elements list dialog, tree view, level 0, click here, 1 of 1.
And so this is the elements list. So if I land on a website and I know there's a link that I want to click and I know the name of the link, this is essentially like an index. So I can go to the link section and then use first letter navigation to get to the link that I know I want to use, and then just select it and go from there. Whereas on this,
type : headings radio, form fields radio button checked alt plus buttons radio but landmarks radio links radio button checked alt plus K tree view click.
Okay, so we're on the link section and
tree view. Click here, 1 of 1 level 0.
And it's just one link labeled click here. So you can imagine if I was on a web page with a bunch of click here's, then this function becomes like completely useless to me. Now, I'll give an example of when a website is set up correctly, how this navigation process can be made a lot easier. So obviously, going through this website, the navigation's not good, and there's a bunch of information I don't have access to, so this is not ideal. But I'm going to go back to this previous page.
Button skip. Banner landmark button graphic open site navigation main landmark clickable digital accessibility is : heading level 2.
Okay, so I've gone back to the home page of the See Me Please website. You just saw me jump to the first heading. Now I was on this page earlier, and I remember that there was a get in touch section, right? Let's say I want to get in touch with See Me Please. I can open that index, that elements list.
Elements list dialog, tree view, reviewers semi, visited 2 of 6 level 0.
And instead of having to navigate through the whole website to find the get in touch section, I'll actually
type headings radio button checked alt plus H, tree view.
Go to the headings section, and I'm going to just type the letter G for get in touch.
G, level 1 get in touch 1 of 2.
And now I'm going to press enter.
Get in touch heading level 2.
And it's taken me right to the part of the website that I want to navigate around. So this is the efficiency that, like, as a screen reader user, I can expect from a well-optimized page. And when I'm on a not so well-optimized page, I can't do any of this stuff. I have to go through every single piece of the website one by one, which is incredibly tedious. And
hey there, Fast Talker.
All screen readers share similar functionality and capabilities. But keyboard shortcuts, as well as voices, can vary between products. Screen readers have a really distinct way of reading. They sound monotone, and maybe even robotic. Experienced users often like to crank the speed right up. Jamal will share his default preferences.
Preferred voice. This is my preferred speed. Let's just get straight into it. Let's start navigating around the See Me Please website, and you'll be able to hear what I hear when I use my computer.
Banner landmark button graphic open site navigation. Graphic: this is an image of the See Me Please logo. Our logo features a beautiful and busy brain. Our graphic company name and a tiny little wheelchair weaved into the picture. This is a small image in our graphic header.
So all I'm doing right now is just pressing the down arrow and just going through each element, one element at a time.
So, what are the most popular screen readers?
Across the world, there are 2 main types of screen readers. They're called JAWS and NVDA. JAWS is a Windows-based application. Schools and employers should be aware of potential accessibility limitations if they use devices like Chromebooks. They may need to consider alternative devices for people who rely on JAWS. NVDA is free for anyone and was developed by 2 Aussie dudes. There are also popular built-in screen readers for phones, like VoiceOver. Screen readers can be used across many different devices, applications, and operating systems. But some work better within certain environments. For example, Firefox with NVDA, Chrome or Internet Explorer with JAWS, Safari with VoiceOver, Edge with Narrator. This is just something to keep in mind when testing your applications.
All users are different.
WebAIM surveyed the preferences of many screen reader users in 2021. 60% of respondents were from the US, 25% from Europe, with 8% from Asia and 3% from Australia. Preferences varied greatly by region. JAWS was far more popular in Australia, being adopted by 71% of those surveyed. But it also found the majority use more than one type of screen reader. Keep in mind that all screen reader users are different. They're likely to have different disabilities, different preferences for devices, use different types of screen reader software, and use different operating systems. Just like everyone else.
People who rely on screen readers experience issues all of the time. So, here are some hot tips to get you started.
Label images and graphics using alt text. Use headings to construct content. Label links and buttons. And remember, click here doesn't mean much to someone who doesn't use a mouse. But more than anything, co-design and user tests with people who rely on assistive technologies. Because digital inclusion is more than catering for just those who use screen readers.
And nothing beats real customer feedback. SeeMePlease.com. Diverse insights.